All right, you guys ready?
All right. Sure. Coffee. Are you ready?
Yeah. All right, hello, good morning, world. Week 40 today. Milestone.
Special guest Alison.
Special guest Alison, everybody.
Especially with the mimosas she brought.
Cheers.
Gotta like a girl that brings mimosas with her.
Yeah. Or a dude. You're welcome to it.
I ain't gonna have mimosas with the dude. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a little more feminine.
It's one thing if it's just me alone. You know,
Right.
but you have another dude there, it changes the whole dynamic of the mimosas.
Right.
I'm
All right.
secure enough on masculinity to drink mimosas with another dude.
Yeah. Let's dive right into that one. I brought that issue up. The pink prom that they had at the Roxy. Was it Friday?
Admiral.
Oh, yeah.
Was it the Admiral?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, it was the
Positive.
Pink prom?
Yeah, it's for the LGBTQIS community.
I as well.
I.
I forget what I stands for, but it's in there.
It's an enigma.
Informal.
I guess
Sexual.
enigma's with an E, isn't it? Or is that enema? So yeah, I read a lot of the comments on the Facebook. You know, there's like 260 of them.
I feel like people were just trolling though. I don't know that the people that were bashing or saying stuff like, I will never support the Admiral again, were really being serious.
Really?
Why would they comment that?
Why would you comment unless you didn't want to stir the pot or hate it?
Troll.
Right, that's stirring the pot, right?
Yeah.
So that means you have that much of an interest in it.
What I'm saying is there was less hate and there was more trolling going on.
I mean, I kind of feel
I
like
don't know what that means.
if you're putting your face out there and you're trolling, who's the fucking know there's a difference? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna think you're kidding around if you fucking come on my page and say, fuck you! You know, but I was just trolling, I was just kidding. You know what I'm saying? It's ambiguity in text. Like, I'm gonna take your shit for face value.
Well, which a lot of people do, and they start making these long paragraphs in the comments about how much they hate you. So what did you read?
I didn't see much like that. I just saw more like one-liners saying disgusting, or some of the other opposition was, you make it more divisive than inclusive by having your own thing. And I kind of thought about that. It's like, what if it was just a black prom? You know, that would be kind of interesting discussion as well. Or,
Well, what if they did it during
Or
Black
what-
History Month?
what are they trying to do with in Cleveland or New York or some shit? Do a white pride parade?
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, white straight pride parade.
Straight pride.
I knew it was straight pride, but I know it was just for white people.
And then, of course, Trump didn't put the flag up at the embassies. So a lot of embassies like held banners outside and stuff like that. But I don't know.
Well, it depends. I mean, like, you can't. It's the straight pride parade. Like, nobody's going after straight people. Okay, so when you have these parades or you have these events, it's to help support and say, hey, we've been fighting for too long. Now we can do this and protest and, get past this. Same with if someone wanted to do an all-black prom. Like, if they're doing it in February and they want to get attention to say, hey, we want equality, then, yeah, give it to them. But if they say all white, well, no one's bugging you. No one's holding you
I
back.
don't know. I feel like, especially with black people, to segregate and just go, this is an all-black prom, where I think that's going in reverse.
Well, they have all black colleges.
Well, it depends on what you're doing
They
it
have
for.
HBCs, but they're not all black.
What's HBC?
Historical black colleges.
Oh. Well, that's good.
But I mean, so
Yeah,
like,
I think that's.
if you think about like caucusing, right? Like it's you get together with people with similar or same identities, right? To discuss whatever, usually politics. But so there are black caucuses and there are women only caucuses and there are, gay caucuses or whatever. And I think that it's important to like be able to carve out that space for people who identify in a certain way and who walk through the world in a certain way. Like, as a white person, I can never understand what it's like to walk through the world as a black person, and so having like a black prom to me seems like it would be not exclusive, but an additional space.
What about that black kid with the white girlfriend?
That's cool.
But she's not allowed to go because it's a black only prom.
Oh, I see.
See, I wouldn't say black only, but you can have it be a black person or black thing prom, but not it be only.
Well, and I also disagree with the idea that you can't understand another person's perspective because you haven't lived that perspective.
I was about to
'Cause
say, like,
I know
being black-
history pretty good. You know, I didn't have to live in the time of Egypt to have some sense of what was going on.
Perspective, yeah, but experience, no. Like, I can be empathetic and I can understand, but at the same time, like,
Well, I'll go support gay pride parade.
yeah.
And that
Wait,
is-
I was waiting for the point.
You be empathetic and understand, but you haven't lived being a black person, so you can't necessarily say.
fully understand.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. And in an all-black space, just like I think about in an all-female space, a man with every good intention of being there still can't fully understand not understand, but having a man in an all-female space that's maybe, like, say, talking about rape or something. It's got dark, but having a man in there in that space changes it, and then women end up having to defend or over-explain or deal with
I was waiting for that word. There
mansplaining.
you go.
But the thing is, too,
So
is
that's
that you can't say no men are allowed to anything, no women are allowed to anything, because that's where
Well, she
people
can
draw
say
the
it.
line. Well, I'm just saying, like, for example, there was a ladies' comedy show in San Francisco, I think it was, and these two men tried to get in, and they're like, nope, this is for women only. And those two men sued, and they won,
Good for them.
because
Well, they just reversed it on the gay cake thing.
that's because there's a Republican Supreme Court now, right?
Well, it didn't go to the Supreme Court, did it?
I thought it did.
Yeah, I think it might have. Yeah, so the federal court sued over. They were being sued in the federal court, and then it went to the Supreme Court, and they said they wouldn't hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it stays that they can say, no, we don't want to make that for you. And I kind of get that. Because if somebody came into my Christian place, or even my atheist place, and said, I want you to do a schwa sticker cake for me, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say, no, I'm not going to, that's not what I do. I have the right to refuse service.
I mean, how long have we been hearing that?
And that's a
term?
political thing versus a religious thing. And that's what makes it so interesting about the flag to me, is that they are flying a political statement. Whether you agree with it or not, it's a political statement. And somebody in the quotes was saying, it's not about politics, it's just a symbol. I was like, well, what the fuck is symbols? They're all about political statements.
Yeah.
And so it's when you deny somebody because of their color or their gender, that's when it's different. Because you can't control that. It's not political. It's just being a person, right? All right, speaking of international news, we got one of our drones bombed down by Iran. We're close to going to war, and that was the talk of the weekend.
Trump did that thing where he created a thing and then took care of it and then gave himself an award for it.
Pretty much.
Jesus Christ. That guy, man. I swear to God, he keeps creating these little
So
mini...
what's the over-under on when we attack?
Oh, it's going to
them?
happen.
You think so? They bombed those tankers, gassed and so
I
supposedly.
think that they pulled back from attacking because they felt like politically it wasn't the right time.
Absolutely.
They're going to wait until
That's why he asked how many
politically-
people are going to die. 150. He's like, oh, I could lose an election over 150. Maybe not 149. But
So
150.
when's the right time, do you think, politically?
When
From his perspective.
he starts to show that he's going to lose to somebody.
Or there's another Pearl Harbor.
Right now, freaking Biden is beating him in the battle states.
He just said Clinton was a formidable opponent versus Biden. He's like, I ain't gonna have a problem with Biden.
Yeah, I guess he did his 2020 campaign this week too, unleashed it, and it was like almost the same as the 2016 one.
Oh yeah, they had to side by
Lock
side.
it up
Yeah,
and 30,000 emails and.
So something we've been discussing for the last few weeks is whether or not we think Trump's going to get reelected. And I feel like I'm one of the only ones that's saying, fuck no. What do you think?
I'm terrified of it. I don't know. I like to like to think fuck no,
Well, of course.
obviously, but
But it's still so early, so we're just trying to
it's
get
so
people's
early, and
insight.
there are so many Democrats.
Just spit it out.
Yes or no?
No, I don't think so.
You
I
think he's
don't.
gonna get reelected?
I don't think he's going to get reelected.
Really?
I don't. But I'm an optimist.
Every podcast we should make a bet on it. So put a dollar.
Where are we at now?
dollar every
Yeah,
week,
where are we
and
at
then
now?
if you want to buy out when it gets closer and you're like, oh fuck, Trump's easily gonna win this. Dude, I'll take half my money back.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I still think the Democrats with their 20 different people running and they can't get it together as a unit. It's kind of disturbing.
Just fucking themselves.
Yeah. it's-
Biden's fucking himself. I feel like this is only the beginning for him of getting fucked.
Yeah, he said
How is
some,
he fucking himself?
well, he said some pretty bad shit about apparitions.
Oh.
He didn't call it. He never called me boy.
And then
he said in his
afterwards,
speech.
Oh
after
my
he got some,
God.
after he got some backlash, he's like, "Nope, I ain't apologizing for that.
Yeah.
Nope."
Yeah,
It's
so
just gonna
it's
get
some pretty
worse.
stupid stuff. And the apparition discussion that's come up this week has been pretty interesting. Not so much the discussion at the House, because if you watch C-SPAN, like I do sometimes, when that talking about that shit, it's entertainment to me. They never talk about giving checks out to people. You know, not once. They're all saying this is. In fact, they say that's not what it's about. But you read the comments, and it's just like that nobody pays attention.
Nobody-
They don't read
yeah.
the news, and they're just filled with this. Why the fuck should I get a tax cut? And they
Listen,
shouldn't
but
get-
don't hear.
Yeah, and it's like
I know it's about money, and that makes me mad.
I noticed that before Trump got elected, when he was going against Hillary, on Facebook when I would read the comments of Trump supporters to try to get some insight on what their thinking was, it seemed like it was the same internal dialogue that they were all just spreading and sharing. Like they would see it being said by somebody else, and then they would just jump on that dialogue, repeat it, regurgitate it,
No, that's
eat
how
it up.
freaking. That's how we operate, especially nowadays with the freaking Facebooks and shit. You know, people don't read or learn about stuff. They see what the frick they want to see, a headline or something, and then they immediately just freaking just run with that.
Yeah.
speaking of building up the hype though with the Trump campaign, you know, he was supposed to deport 1 million immigrants this weekend. He pulled
Oh,
out
yeah.
last minute.
Another
Same
thing.
Yeah.
Just like, and then pats himself on the back for taking
He
care
says,
of it.
"Oh, that's a deal that we're gonna make with the with Mexico, which is a deal that was drawn up months ago."
Yeah. Somebody made fun of the deal and said something like, "Oh, it's for like 10 avocados and a soda or something like that."
Well, I think he's got a lot of Southern support, and they're just like, "Dude, you got to let these motherfuckers come across, man. We need our shit." Because that's what happened in Georgia, I think they were.
My construction business is gonna take a huge hit.
Yeah, there was a watermelon plantation they did a special on, and they used to have all these illegal immigrants coming in, or I don't even know if they're illegal. They're migrant workers, so they can go in and work and stay and then go back, and then they banned it all in Georgia, everything. And so they just went to Alabama and Louisiana and other places I can't remember. But so the farms, all of a sudden they didn't have anybody to pick up the melons, and so they got the prisoners to do it. So all these guys are sitting around smoking cigarettes, and they're like, "Man, it's hot out here." So they're like, "Bring them back," and I think they did. You know, they changed the law so they could have him again. So it's like, you know, if he shuts down the border, he's going to lose a lot of the Southern support for their economic gains that they're going to miss out on.
He's already lost support in the Midwest for sure.
I never looked at it, but I'm curious to see what the benefits from having illegals over here living, like versus like the gains. You know, like what do they? Because they obviously they provide a lot to our fucking economy, like especially in the agriculture industry.
Well, absolutely.
You know, but
Like
like
construction.
yeah. So I would think that the freaking you know, the benefits outweigh the losses.
Well, the construction ones are really they lost their jobs kind of thing, because
They took our jobs.
they,
Yeah.
well, in that regard, because I know that a lot of people like Frank take a hit when, you know, he sees other companies that are hiring cheaper labor than he is. But I don't think it happens all
Well,
that
there's
much,
legal
you know.
ways to get into the country, and I don't think that's discussed enough.
Well,
But you know, you look at like South America, you know, people from Brazil and down there are migrating over the Mexican border and coming to Mexico and taking over because there's too much violence down south. So they come to Mexican and raid these perfectly fine places and turn them into violent hellholes, which then makes those Mexicans who just want to live a normal life try to come up to America. And the reason why we can't open up our border ever is because if we do, it'll then be more Southern people coming up that will create more violence. So I do believe there is something to say about violent people trying to come to
But
America.
it's not. Mexicans have been on the decline for coming to America. It's been the Central America, Guatemala, and
Yeah, I mean, everybody,
El
especially
Salvador.
down south.
Nicaragua.
And I mean, what is the data on the like violence?
Yeah.
You know, like that. I feel like that's a Trump like fake news kind of thing that he's used to scare us, to scare Americans on.
Focus on the freaking
50 cents
On the-
cut, man.
on the
All right.
Yeah, focus on the violence
I'm just teasing you.
that illegal immigrants bring. When I'm
all the
just,
stories that we do hear, like freaking all of the stories about like Americans that are doing shit like daily, you know, that aren't Mexicans or illegals or some shit.
Well, shit.
Right.
Getting my yard done Monday.
Well, it'd be great to have the real numbers and not the Trump numbers.
right. Well,
Yeah.
Trump doesn't use numbers. He just uses like
Well, not Trump, but trumped up numbers.
Yeah.
yeah.
But then what's real news? You know, I mean, it's interesting when you talk about science, and data is one of them, but how people can flip-flop so easily on the science. And I'll stay away from the science and just talk about capital punishment and pro-lifers. You know, it's most of the people that are pro-lifers that are also for capital punishment.
Yep.
So it's like, wait a minute. And so when it comes to science, and they look at the pro-lifers, they're saying, no, it is definitely a viable, with our technology now, we can do this. But global warming? Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We won't listen to that science.
No.
I was listening to Joe Rogan's podcast, and this chick, she's a black conservative, named Candace Owens,
Oh.
and
Just obnoxious as fuck.
oh my gosh, she gets on my
Oh my
fucking
God,
nerves.
she's so bad.
But like Joe, you know, he's rational, and he's like, you know,
Oh yeah.
I've looked at the studies and da da da. Like, I'm not a scientist, but I've read this.
Yeah,
da, da,
oh,
da.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. She's, well, I don't believe that. He's like, how can you not believe that? Like, these scientists are saying
Right.
that. Like,
Well, on the flip side of that too, there's a great deal of science that goes into the gun violence, and the left
Right.
doesn't believe any of that. You know, no, more guns, more deaths. It's like, no. Most deaths are from suicide, and it's a mental health issue. And if it's a mental health issue for that, it's probably for all the other shootings. It's a mental health issue. But then again, the Republicans believe that, and then they don't support mental health or health care. So it's like,
Well, they're just so
Choose-
fucking defensive
Well-
about their guns, and they can't hear anything rational. All they hear is, "You're taking away my guns," you know.
well, and then the Democrats are saying, why do you need that kind of gun?
Yeah.
It's like, well, why do you need a Ferrari? I mean, you don't, but people like that kind of shit. Let them have what the fuck they want. So I see both, and then the liberals have to say, and they shut their ears.
Yeah.
You know, they do the same thing.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying it one way or another. It's just the way in which we have our conversations nowadays is through Twitter feeds and one-liners on Facebook instead of sitting around and talking about it and
Right.
not getting all standing up and, no, Sandy Hook was not real.
Oh, did you hear that they're
This is very
pinning
good, by the way.
they're pinning child porn charges on Alex Jones?
no, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, there were leaked emails, essentially.
And he says he's being framed.
Yeah, essentially emails went from his server to some people, and within 10,000 emails I found a few pictures that were child porn or something like that.
Well, from what I understand, in
file
order
or
to be
something.
charged, it has to be like a certain amount.
Well, and then,
What?
well,
It's true.
I don't doubt that.
How is that?
Like intent, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, like someone accidentally stumbled upon.
Yeah,
or,
you're not
or,
gonna-
you know, when you're a celebrity like that, you're getting millions of emails all the
Okay.
time, and people are
Yeah.
sending you shit, and you're not
Yeah.
opening it, and then they're going through it, and they find these pictures, and it's like, oh, look.
That makes
And they
sense.
could have sent it to
Okay.
him intentionally, knowing that, hey,
Oh.
you know, just wanted to wish you Merry Christmas, and then send,
Attachment.
and he's like, I don't want to read that. I don't know who this person is,
Right. I was
And then
thinking
just
like on
goes
a
with-
small scale, like somebody, only got 9 pictures.
So once again, when you hear that, but when you see the initial story, Alex Jones faces porn charges, and you don't read it, you're just like, oh
Yeah.
man, I knew that guy was a creep. I mean,
Right.
then people respond that way instead of actually reading and thinking and cross-observing and listening to the other side. Not all people, of course, but a lot of dumb people. All right, what's going on? I think we covered the world pretty good, and the nation. What about local? They arrested that guy for the gun stuff.
Oh yeah, down in
The
Vegas.
Gorst?
Yeah, the Gorse.
What about all the
They caught him in
bodies?
Vegas.
What about all the bodies that were found in Wildcat Lake? Did you guys hear about
I
that?
remember one
What?
body.
There was
There were
one body.
There were 4.
Four.
This
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah. There was that guy. Did they find other ones while they were looking for him?
I thought they found 4.
Wow.
No,
Just one. from
he's
what I heard.
47. Maybe he got
47 bodies.
4 to 7 bodies instead of a 47 body.
I read it when I was drunk.
An example of scrolling through.
I didn't read the article.
Guilty.
They found 4 to 7 bodies. Explain that to me right now.
Oh goodness. Well, that's too bad. It sounds like he was a pretty good guy.
Hmm.
Oh well. But they arrested that guy.
And they also arrested that girl.
Oh yeah,
with
that
the
was a
face
good one
tattoos.
too. Yeah, that was a great picture. Let me see if I can
What
find
did she
that one.
do?
Who knows? Just look at her. I mean, I hate to profile, but it's like, yeah, she should go to jail.
So,
I like seeing the memes where it's like just a picture of a dude in court. It looks fucking crazy.
There she is.
It's like whatever he fucking did,
Oh.
he's guilty of that
What
shit.
did that say? What does that say on her?
Oh yeah, she made Facebook threats.
Probably
She was
says,
like,
control-
PMing her daughter's boyfriend and threatening to kill him and the
So,
kid.
you know where Designs Unlimited used to be, right next to Sirens? Well, now it's a tattoo shop
Okay.
called Naval Ink. And I guess that was the tattoo shop that was involved with her threats. And
Would
what's
you get that and regret it?
well, what the funny thing is, you see a picture like that, right? That's probably when she looked decent. I wonder what she looks like now. She probably looks horrible now. If we saw a recent mugshot of her, but she went on Facebook and made a suicide post.
No.
Oh.
Yes, she
Homicide post. And she threatened. I just
No,
said that.
after it came out
Oh.
that she was wanted, she went to Facebook and said, "I'm done with the world, blah blah blah. It's over, it's done." And I made a comment. And I was like, "Stop
You
playing the."
commented on Jesus Christ! What is wrong with you, Joe?
All I said was,
Love
"Stop playing the
Pete.
victim. It's not even a real instrument."
How'd you even get to her page to comment on it?
Because it was in the, it was in the
Oh, it
comments
was on the, it was
on
on the actual,
like someone posted her page with the post in the comments on Kitsap Sun.
no shit.
I
Yeah.
mean,
People
in
are
her
petty as fuck.
in her defense, like we were talking about mental illness, and there's probably
Yeah, okay. I would have felt bad if she really would have followed through with it, but I could just tell by her suicide letter that it wasn't
God.
legit.
it was like
And I was just like, no, you're just doing this for attention. You're trying to make everybody feel guilty. You're the victim. You're not the victim. You're the perpetrator.
yeah.
Did you mention this is episode 40? After 40 episodes, this is what we got.
And she didn't kill herself, just like I assumed right off the bat. She got
Yes.
arrested. She got arrested.
That Joe's
Well, I totally hear what
else
Alice is saying. Yeah. But, regardless if she kills herself or not, she's definitely struggling with some sort of mental
Yeah.
challenges. so
Right.
Don't get me wrong. I hope she gets help that she needs.
sounds like it.
I bet you won't do it, bitch.
Oh, my
Hits
God.
blunt.
Oh, I guess I lost that bet. Good thing I don't have to pay anybody.
Other local news that I know from experience and then read about after the fact is Kitsap Lake is contaminated with.
Every here.
Yeah, I fell in the lake
Oh, no.
a couple weeks ago and was like, well, I'm in. I might as well go for a swim.
Oh, no.
And I swam for like a half hour. I was like, this is amazing among all the lily pads and stuff. And got out, and about an hour later, covered in giant wellets.
Oh my god.
Like, I still have remnants of them, yeah. And then 2 days later, I read the article that was like,
Well,
Stay away from
Aren't there
me.
signs posted too?
Yeah,
There sure are. I saw those afterwards too.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Well, I heard there was a lot of fecal matter
Bless
in
your
there.
heart.
Well,
That's all it
covered
is.
in it. Yeah.
That's all it is, and then it gets hot, and then it
Throwing in shit and
blooms.
poison.
Well, I think there was something more than the algae. There was like a geese with their fecal matter.
Well, it's not a clean lake. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, not right now.
Never has been, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
I swam in it like 10 years ago,
Yeah.
and I got swimmer's itch.
I never did. Like water skiing.
Yeah, swimmer's itch is a bitch.
Yeah, that's not a good story.
I'll
Thank
take,
you for sharing.
as far as Kitsap Lake goes, fuck that. I'll go to Wildcat Lake and take my chances running into a dead body.
You'd be one of the 4 to 7.
Yeah. Oh, there's one. Flotation device. No, it does remind me my buddy has a picnic table that floats, and we've been taking it out to Wildcat Lake.
That's
Last
cool.
year it was a lot of fun, so we'll probably do that again.
They got the Bremerton Bridge blast
Blast.
tonight.
Saturday.
Yeah,
What's
is it tonight?
No, it's Saturday. Today's Sunday.
Right.
Bremerton Bridge Blast is Saturday, the 20.
There's another
8th.
bottle too.
I thought it was tonight that they're gonna do the fireworks.
No.
Is it next weekend?
Yeah,
Oh,
next Saturday night. So Maisha's doing her home party.
nice.
Neutral Boy and Mugly are playing at the Drift from like 7 to
Okay.
9.
You sure?
And then the Bremerton Bridge Blast.
Nice.
So,
Oh, what else is coming on this week? You dump that for me.
nothing much, really. We had the roast battle.
Oh, just put it in this one.
We had the roast battle Friday night at Dog Days.
Yeah,
That was a lot of fun.
yeah. I'm surprised that
Whoa, Jesus.
I'm surprised you didn't ask Randall and me to be a team.
Well, can't have you on all of my shows, I guess. Gotta try to spread the love somehow.
Was there a
That's
winner
all right.
of the roast?
There was. It was Jordan Hansen and Brock Toronto.
Yeah, we could have taken
that
them.
makes sense.
I would have gone for the small guy.
And then you guys would have had to sit down and wrote jokes together.
No, no.
And been prepared.
I mean, that's why you tell people in advance, but.
Yeah. I mean, but that was a lot of fun, and it went a lot better than we all expected.
Oh, that's good.
The crowd had a really good time, and there was something I was going to say about that. Oh yeah, that's the thing. Once again, and I know we talked about this in the past, no other comics that were on the show showed up, that weren't on the show showed up, and nobody that I know personally showed up.
Did Paul Goon show up?
Yeah, I think he was the only one,
Um,
and that was it.
How many other people were there?
There's like 30 people there.
Oh, that's not
That's
bad.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm not complaining about turnout. I'm just curious as to like, I don't know. I feel like maybe I should just. I wish I could shut down my personal Facebook and just keep the Comedy Kitsap page, because I feel like my personal Facebook doesn't do shit. I post shit all the time, and none of my friends hardly ever show up.
Well, I think that you just have a good location there for your room.
Well,
'Cause,
yeah.
You know, especially with that other bar that just opened, Axe and Arrow.
Mhm.
I went there once. It's nice.
Yeah, and people keep walking by
Yeah.
to go there,
Right.
and they're seeing Dog Days.
And they want to just take a stroll around downtown, and they
Yeah.
just hear, like, yeah, let's go check out comedy.
and
you
they're
know?
stopping, they're like, oh, this is interesting.
Yeah, I'll come in here for a beer and hear some jokes.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
So it is a great location. There's
Yeah.
a couple people that live in the condos that came down
Sure.
for the last couple of shows there, you know.
Mm.
And Dog Days hasn't really been posting on their Facebook page of these shows either. You know,
I think I see him.
maybe in the Secret Bremerton, but they didn't
Oh.
post the roast battle one on their page. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like turnout might be a combination of the location and the Comedy and Kitsap page posting in the Secret Bremerton. Secret Bremerton is a great
You thought
promotion.
about asking Dog Days if you can take part of their fucking account?
Run their page.
I did briefly. He didn't seem. He was like, "I'll give it to you for 15 minutes, so you can make a post, and then I'll take it back." And I've noticed that with businesses, a lot of them will just hand over the rights for me to edit, so I can make posts myself. But some of them, there are interactions in the messenger that should be
Private.
owner private. Yeah,
Well, did you see the short video, the dugout? I think I sent it to you.
Yeah, that was really
not,
well
not
done
the dugout,
video.
but
That was the one
for
who did. That was over here.
World of Beer. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, Dave Morgan. I thought that was a really good commercial.
really good commercial.
Yeah. And I don't know. I think you do something like that, get it sponsored, and send it out to more people.
For sure.
But I think the key is to keep it like under
Short,
30 seconds.
sweet,
Yeah.
to the point.
Yeah. Unlike this podcast.
I don't know. I think we covered a lot. And,
What else? Well,
Decent
they got that
ones.
open mic 3 to 6 tonight, and then next week I'm off of work
Open mic at Brother Don's.
at Dugout. Dave's hosting it there,
Oh yeah.
and
What time is it? 3 to 6?
no, today it's 3 to 6.
Okay.
Out at. You want to go?
I do.
I do too.
Cool.
I'll be at Billy's deck show.
Oh,
Is that today?
that's tonight.
That's tonight. Starts at 7. I got to be there at 6 to set up. And today is also my 7-year comedy anniversary as well.
Oh,
So,
Wow.
congratulations.
but thanks.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what the champagne's for.
Well, excellent. Anything else coming up this week?
Nope, just the regular open mic at Cookies on Wednesday and the regular open mic at Hi-Fi on Thursday, and that's it.
All right.
I don't really have anything planned for July. Taking July off probably.
Me too.
Yeah. Hitting the road, Jack.
All right. Well, have a nice week.
All right, thanks for coming
Probably
on the
see you
show,
next
Allison.
Yeah, thanks for
Yeah,
having me.
for sure.
Oh shit. Yeah, I don't know. I got someone doing the Dog Days open mic July